contributes to reconstruction efforts inside the Congo, including raising funds for hospital supplies.
The burden on the war falls on the woman because the woman is in charge of the children, is in charge of everything in the house, in the home. So when a woman cannot run away and leave the kids, you have to struggle that you protect the children. The women are the most suffering people. Many women and girls are victims of rape. So it is not something which is a secret. It's well known that women were so much raped, so much traumatized, so much that some of them are affected till now. If it was a girl, he can't allow himself to get involved with a man because of the trauma that she went through. When a woman is raped, maybe you don't know the man had HIV/AIDS, you don't know the man has STDs. So if you are raped and you're being infected, now that life has been destroyed. Maybe you're you got pregnant through that rape. That child will be traumatizing you because this is a child that I got out of my will, out of my wish. Now, when you destroy a woman, you're destroying the community, you're destroying the family.
Since 2002, at Washington's insistence, the Congo has been subjected to a World Bank IMF structural adjustment program, which means that its economic policy is being set by these two US-dominated institutions. A major effect of this policy is to legalize the corporate looting of the Congo. Under World Bank rules, foreign companies pay almost nothing to the government for lucrative mining concessions.
What the US have done, they also say that you must work with IMF and World Bank. And when the World Bank came, they put in place reform, macroeconomic reform. They have made a new code of investment. In that code of investment, they are saying that if the investor comes, he is the right to repatriate the benefit.
So repatriate all the benefits?
All the benefits, 100%. All the benefits. So now we have lost a lot of mining, rich mining concession for nothing, you understand? So who gain? You find that all the company in the front, there are United States, you understand? So this is a very, very systematic policy taken by the United States. Now, they have also made what we call code minier, mineral code. In mineral code, they said the investor can take up to 90% of shares, up 90% of share, and leave only 10% of share to the government. It's not investment. We call it pseudo investment.
It's plunder.
It's blunder. It's a robbery. With what are we going to build the Congo as far as the multinational have taken everything?
The objective of the U.S. is to gain control of the economic riches of the Congo. To do this, Washington first used war and genocide, and then the World Bank and the IMF, combined with the threat of a return to a wider war.
The World Bank said, this is the price of the peace. You should give up. You see, you should give up your company. You should give up your concession. This is the price you have to pay for the peace. We are used like a slave. We are just producing. They give you a small amount of money, but all the benefits are taken by transforming the material outside. You understand? I would like to see a Congo where people are in the working. They produce, and not only producing the primary raw material, but also transform the material in place so that they can sell and get more benefit. Because now, all what we are doing, we are just selling the gross product we gain, so there is no any benefit which came from that. All these raw material are being transformed outside. You understand?
Patrice Lumumba was the first elected leader of the Congo. He served in office for only 2 months. Because of his desire for economic independence, the U.S. had him assassinated in 1961. Washington replaced him with its puppet, Colonel Mobutu, a brutal military dictator who murdered thousands of Congolese, and looted the country for 37 years in league with Western multinational corporations. Mobutu's reign continued the plunder and killing begun by Belgium, which colonized the Congo from 1885 to 1960. Lumumba is one of Africa's greatest heroes.
He was killed because of that. He was asking to give the independence, the economic independence. You see, that is the same policy now. If you raise your voice, you will be killed. That was the example to show to the Congolese that if you try to resist us, we are going to do the same as we did with Lumumba.
After 37 years of U.S.-imposed dictatorship and 8 years of a U.S.-backed genocidal war, the Congo is close to becoming the poorest country in the world, with 95% of its population unemployed and subject to chronic malnutrition. Yet it is worth noting that in spite of the catastrophe it has wrought in the Congo, the U.S. has not been able to achieve a major objective, that of balkanizing the country. Washington's military strategy has failed in the Congo because of the fierce resistance of the Congolese people.
The desire for mineral riches has led the U.S. to invade not just the Congo, but also Somalia in December 2006, this time using the Ethiopian army as proxy. Somalia possesses substantial deposits of petroleum and is strategically located close to Saudi Arabia. The invasion was coordinated and supported from the U.S. military base at Djibouti, which borders Somalia. U.S. Special Forces and CIA operatives at the base helped to design the invasion. U.S. planes and ships bombed Somalia during the invasion, and Special Forces accompanied the Ethiopian military into Somalia.
The Ethiopian army has been trained and armed by the United States, which is the main backer of Meles Zenawi, the country's murderous dictator. Washington plans to ensure that 2/3 of Somalia's oil fields are taken over by the American oil companies Conoco, Amoco, Chevron, and Phillips. The puppet Prime Minister of Somalia has proposed a new oil law to encourage the return of foreign oil companies to the country.
Ethiopian troops occupy Mogadishu, Somalia's capital, where fierce fighting continues between them and Somali resistance groups. The Ethiopian military has committed horrendous war crimes, killing thousands of civilians by shelling densely populated neighborhoods indiscriminately. As a result, 365,000 Somalis have fled the capital.
Farah Malam is chairman of Ford People, the third largest political party in the Kenyan parliament. He's a former member of parliament from Lagdera, which borders Somalia and is part of Kenya's northeastern province. Malam is both Kenyan and Somali, and an expert on U.S. policy towards Somalia and the Horn of Africa.
It is American invasion. But the U.S. role is everything. The Ethiopians were sent in by the Americans. We believe that, and they were too happy and too glad to do the dirty job for the Americans, do the errands for the Americans. So you could safely say that this is a genocide against the Somali people. So it's the American helicopter gunships that literally pulverized them from, so many kilometers away where they could not reach them. And that's basically what turned the tables of the war. And Ethiopian soldiers are there just to, when the Americans do the damage from the sky, to, finish off the rest. Basically, that's it, and to maintain a ground troops presence. From the sea, they're using missiles, and American Marines who also, they land their boots also on the ground as often as they want.